Welcome to another episode of the Simply Retirement Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Blake. And if you are a parent, a relative, a friend, or if you know someone that is suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia, you are not going to want to miss today's episode. I wanted to share some pretty amazing stats from the Alzheimer's Association. Nearly 7 million Americans have Alzheimer's. There's an estimated 6.9 million Americans aged 65 and older that are living with Alzheimer's here in 2024. 73% are age 75 and older. About 1 in 9 people, that's about 11% of those age 65 and older, has Alzheimer's. That was pretty amazing to me. And for our audience and even the majority of our clients, almost 2/3 of Americans that have Alzheimer's are women. So the odds are that we all know someone, and the odds are that it's a mother, it's a daughter, it's a sister, it's an aunt. And today we're going to talk about a really amazing form of therapy for dementia and Alzheimer's patients. Before I bring our guest on, for all the links and resources for this episode, you can go to www.thesimply.retirementpodcast.com/38. Today, we're again going to be joined by Mary Greer. She joined us on episode 12 to discuss how seniors can thrive in their later years by staying at home as long as possible through the use of home healthcare services. And we're going to get an update from Mary on where she's at today. But on today's episode, Mary is going to be discussing a true passion of hers, the grandbaby project. And I'm actually going to let her tell the audience about the grandbaby project because she will do a much better job than I will. So Mary Greer, welcome back to the Simply Retirement Podcast.
Thanks so much, Eric. Things have changed since I was on your show the last time. I am now with One You Love Home Care out of Allen. Allen, Texas, because I know your audience is broader than just our area. And I made that change in May of last year. It's a wonderful, amazing company to work for. The owners are so invested in their clients and in the clients' families. They take the approach of this is to support the entire family. I mean, yes, we're there to take care of the person that needs care, but the family needs care too. So we're doing things in the home that they maybe don't have time to get to, or maybe, that female caregiver you were just talking about, she gets home from work and then she's got to make dinner, things like that, where we can step in and we can take care of their person, but we can take care of them. So we're a support system for the entire family. We serve the whole Metroplex, and we go out and we build those relationships. We're not just someone that's coming in that you don't know and, you don't feel comfortable with. We're making personal introductions of those caregivers, and we're doing a lot of things to build that comfort level. And we can take care of everything from companionship all the way up to fully bedridden. We start at age 18 because, diseases are coming on earlier. Plus, there's accidents, there's other illnesses. So we can take care of everyone and really support them as they're going through. Hopefully, they're going through something that they're going to recover from, maybe a broken limb or something like that. We love those cases because they get better and they don't need us anymore. That's great. But we can also go all the way through supporting the hospice companies and being there with those family members as their family moves into the final stages of life. And then, of course, we're there for the dementia. You were giving some facts and figures on dementia. Another 1 million people are going to be added to that roll this year. And that's only going to grow as the population ages. And, we're coming into what I've heard called the silver tsunami, because 10,000 people a day turn 65 years old. You figure one of them's got to live in Dallas. So we're coming into that. And those folks are going to have cognitive issues. So they have mental as well as physical. And the average caregiver is a 45-plus-year-old female in the house. She very well could be taking care of 3 generations, because she's taking care of her children, her and her husband or her significant other, plus aged relatives, and usually working a job outside the home. That's more than we should ask anybody to do. And that's where One You Love comes in, because we can come in and take a lot of that burden off of her. So when she comes in, instead of sitting down in 5 seconds to rest, she can sit down to dinner, and it makes a difference.
Well,
So
that's awesome. Yeah,
everybody
so
has one you love.
glad that you able to give us an update on that. We both know, I know the owner, Greg. You guys
Yeah.
do some amazing work. And of course, when we're talking about home care, one of those conditions, as we've already touched on, is the number of people, women, men across the board that are dealing with dementia, dealing with Alzheimer's. And I have to tell you that, and I for my podcast, I've been working kind of shortening the intros a little bit just to get to the topics. And but I knew in this case I wanted to make it a little bit longer, because as soon as I ask you about the grandbaby project, I know I may only have to ask one question and you're off and running, because I know how passionate you are about this. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I know how important it is to you. So I just want you to share, number one, just what is the grandbaby project? Just start off with that. Because again, I feel like the audience is going to pick up the passion that you have for it, and then we'll get into some of the other details as we go.
Okay, the Grandbaby Project is a 20-year labor of love. We were started by Tanya Moon down in the Houston area, and everything we do every day is in honor of her grandmother, her Mama Ruby. Mama Ruby was in a community. Mama Ruby had been thrown out of 4 communities because she was spicy. She hit, she bit, she cussed. I mean, everything that you could do, she did. This was the last community. And they told Tanya to either get control of her grandmother, and Mama Ruby, Nanny, raised Tanya, either get control of her grandmother or she had to leave. And that would have been the state psychiatric home. I don't know how the folks that are listening feel, but I killed my mama before I put her there. And, that was it. They had to do something. And Tanya's cousin came and she brought a $6 doll from Walmart. And she said, well, the only time Nanny's good is when you're here with your baby. And Tanya's daughter, Cam, was born. She was about this size. And Mama Ruby just loved her. Her life revolved around Cam. So they gave her the baby. Having no idea what, they just gave her the baby. And it changed her life. She would live there several more years, and she died with her baby in her arms. So Tanya knew she wanted to do something with dementia doll therapy, but she wanted her baby to grow up first. So Cam grew up. She went off to college. And so that's when the Grandbaby Project was officially born. And, like everybody else, Tanya thought, well, I'll Google and get some information. Sadly, there's not any. There's only been 15 studies worldwide. One of them only had one participant. Now, the UK and Japan have been doing dementia doll therapy for about 25 years. And in Japan, it is so prevalent when your loved one checks into a community, they pick out their room and they pick out their baby. So it is being used, and it's being used successfully. Doll therapy is also used successfully in our children that have been abused, but nobody was using it with our adults. So what dementia doll therapy does is we go in. Now, this is very, very effective as folks are in the later stages of dementia. And it's as effective with men as it is with women. But we go in and we train the staff. Now, our training comes through the Dementia Society of America. But we train the staff. We train everybody that's going to even touch the babies on how to deal with this as a real life baby. Because, Eric, you and I know it's a doll. And the guy in the kitchen that busses tables, he too knows it's a doll. But grandma does not realize that. So when the guy that busses the table sees the baby on the floor and he picks it up like this, well, we got a whole new set of problems now, because to our residents' eyes, he has picked up a baby by the arm, the leg, the head, and they see it as a real baby. As our family members and our friends go through the stages of dementia, they drift away from us. They go to live in a bubble. They can't come out of that bubble. They're happy. They're safe there. And in their mind, they go back to times when they were the happiest. Maybe that was when they had their babies, or when they were a child and playing with a doll. But we can step into that bubble and visit them. And so mama may not remember you as her son, may not remember me as the daughter, but she remembers that we are the wonderful people that come in and bring something for the baby, because everything becomes about the baby. What it allows the communities and the families to do is to modify behavior without the use of pharmaceuticals. Now, unfortunately, here in the United States, we're fast to throw medication at people. And believe you me, our seniors or anyone that has dementia does not need to be pickled with more medication. What this baby does is it cuts down on fall risk, because we all know when we were young parents, we weren't flitting around, we carried our baby in our arms carefully. We want to drop our baby. It helps definitely with the behavior modification, because one of the first things that a person with dementia has issues with is taking a bath. Well, now I've got my baby. Well, I can say, Mr. Eric, we need to get you in the shower because we need to clean and change the baby. Okay, the shower's taken. Now it's time to eat. Maybe you're not eating very well. Mr. Eric, we need to get you to eat your lunch because we have to feed the baby, or we have to put the baby down. Okay, we're eating lunch. It helps with getting you out of your room. Isolation is going to kill a senior faster than a broken hip. And 2020 darn near did them all in, because they couldn't get out. They couldn't see their family. They couldn't socialize. But you'll have two people sitting together on a couch. Maybe they're just speaking in word salad, but they're the same as those two young mothers comparing their baby outfits. And so they're socializing. They're getting out of their rooms. They're involved with activities. Now, this is on the community level, of course. They're involved with activities with their baby. And it gives them a new outlook. And it helps them to be social again, to be a part of the group, to join into group activities. And now they have their baby. They have something that they can take care of, that depends on them. And that's a wonderful feeling, because they've lost so much. And now people tell them when to eat, when to sleep, what to eat, what to wear, when to go to the bathroom. They don't make any decisions on their own anymore. And these people that we're talking about, I recently had a gentleman who had been the CEO of a Fortune 10 company. And now he has no decision-making abilities at all. He can't do that because he's living in a community. Can you imagine in his lucid moments how that must make him feel? So we give them back dignity. We give them back something that depends on them, just like our babies depended on us. Seriously, it's no different. They're a new mother and a new father. And that's how that we look at it. In our presentations, we never talk about dolls. We talk about babies, because they are. Now, if we get into a community where people do refer to them as dolls, we take our cues from them. If I give you this baby, if I present this baby to you and you say, oh, that's a doll, I'll usually say, yes, it is, but it makes you feel so good just to hold this doll really close when you're talking. It makes you just feel good and warm inside. They're going to cue into that. Now, we leave a baby in the community for every resident. Because let me tell you, peer pressure is as bad at 90 as it was at 9, except a 90-year-old will take a baby by force the next morning at breakfast when everybody has a baby and they don't have one. So we leave a baby for everyone. But it is as effective with men as with women. And the effect is instantaneous. I did a shower down in Red Oak last December. And we all know that Red Oak is one street south of Dallas. And I gave the baby to a lady, and I kept going. We present them during a baby shower. I presented her baby, and she's cuddling on it. And I went over, and there was a gentleman who had been non-responsive. He kept looking at the baby, so I presented him a baby. Now, I'd already been warned about his wife because she was not there. She did not have any issues. He did. They told me, Miss Hazel does not like your program. She didn't want her husband to have a doll. Then they told me, Miss Hazel's here. Okay. Then they came and told me, Miss Hazel wants to talk to you. I said, oh, goody. I went over. Miss Hazel was sitting there and she was crying. Her husband was sitting with his back to us. Well, she told me everything that was wrong with my program and 3 things she didn't like about me. Then she turned her husband around. He's been unresponsive completely for 6 months. He's dipping his cookie in his juice and he's feeding his baby. I like to think when she saw that, she was seeing her husband, her young husband, doing that while she was finishing supper. He was feeding the children. A couple of minutes later, a gentleman came over to me, probably retired military because he still had a high and tight. And for those of you who don't know that, that's the military haircut. And he hugs me very quickly. And he said, my wife is singing a lullaby to her baby. And I'm like, this is great. And I'm talking about me. He stops me. He says, you don't understand. My wife hasn't spoken in a year. And she was singing Jesus Loves Me, not word salad. Jesus Loves Me to her baby. That had been less than 5 minutes. There is not a medication on the face of the earth that acts that quickly. But these babies do. When I do presentations, and Eric, you've heard me, I'll ask people at the end, have you ever touched a miracle? And a lot of people say yes when my baby was born. Some people, a lot say no. And I'll hand them baby Brita Ann, who's named after my mother. I'll hand them baby Brita Ann. I'll say, now you have, because this is a miracle worker. And this is what the Grandbaby Project is all about.
Can you share just what kind of response have you gotten from the different facilities, from the different organizations that you guys have done presentations for, done baby showers? I love that term. What kind of feedback have you received from these different facilities?
I absolutely love it, because in a community, you can have, let's just say you have 20 residents. Well, we have probably 4 pages of activities that can be done with the residents and with the babies. Now, what this does is you can take one caregiver and put all 20 of those folks at a long table, and they can all be doing activities with the babies. It takes the average dementia patient. Now, all of our babies have on swaddler diapers, and they're all dressed in newborn baby clothes. It takes the average dementia patient 20 plus minutes, up to 40 minutes, to undress, change the diaper, put on a new diaper, and redress the baby. One caregiver can be watching all 20 people at the same time. Now, you've got maybe 3 other caregivers on staff. They're checking on Mr. Jones, who has not come out of his room. They're taking Miss Smith back to her room. They're running to see where the snacks are. So it is literally putting time back in their days. And I love communities, do not get me wrong, but communities are traditionally understaffed because they may have a full staff and 3 people call in that morning. So that allows them to take care of everyone beautifully, keep everyone safe, and give personal attention to the people who need it. So communities absolutely love the Grandbaby Project. And we have, of course, we're worldwide now. We've sent babies to Belgium. We've sent babies to Africa. We've sent babies to South and Central America. So we are worldwide, but we are nationwide now. Just signed on some new communities over on the East Coast, up through the Wheat Belt here in Texas, and in the desert Southwest. We're bringing on a new community group. So it is spreading like wildfire. And it also is spreading with the individual, because what I try to concentrate on and where I try to bring our message is, and now, once again, I'm gonna say I love communities, but communities are very, very expensive, especially a memory care unit that can run well over $10,000 a month. The average family does not have that money. And unfortunately, not a lot of people have long-term care insurance. They are taking care of their loved ones at home. And a dementia patient is a great big toddler, a very crafty one at that. If you run to the bathroom, by the time you get out, they've drunk a half a bottle of Windex and they're out the yard because there's not a lock that will keep them in the house. I had one gentleman that was in a locked unit. He'd been an engineer and he listened to the caregiver's code in and out. He simply duplicated that pattern of sounds and let himself out of the building. So they are big, crafty toddlers. But we go into the homes and the homes get support. They're still going to get a list of activities that they can do with their family member or whomever they're taking care of, so that they can have that few minutes to throw a chicken in the oven or a roast in the crock pot, heavens, run to the bathroom, make some sandwiches where they're not literally having to stand over that person. I call it a 40-hour-a-day job, and it is a 40-hour-a-day job. And sadly, on the flip side of what I do with the caregiving, we see caregivers die before the person that they're caring for because they just wear out and they lay down and go to sleep and they don't wake up. But it's very well received. And it's a program that can be done as easily with men as women. Women, you know, they're nurturing, they're patting and bouncing and everything. The men, they go into grandpa mode. They're playing patty cake and they're bouncing. They're having a big old time, the same as your grandfather did with you. It's no different. It is literally no different.
That was really the amazing thing. And I wanted to ask that question is because it goes beyond just the one-on-one, actually the impact it has on the individual, but like you said, the fact that it actually improves care across the board, especially in some of these facilities and these communities, like you said, where it gives the caregivers time to be with other patients. And It's just an amazing story. What do you feel like, if you had to come up with a future vision, what do you feel like, what's the vision of the Grandbaby Project over, say, the next 3 to 5 years? Where are we going here?
We're improving lives one cuddle at a time.
Love that.
And it is our objective to put a baby in the arms of every person, not just in the United States, every person in the world that needs a baby. That is our vision. That's our hope. That is our promise to Mama Ruby, that everybody that needs a baby is going to get a baby. And we'll make it happen. I'm going out on a limb here. I buy a lot of babies and they go a lot of places because it's that important to me that when people can, because not a lot of people, you know, Eric, you do finance. A lot of people are living not even paycheck to paycheck. And if somebody contacts me, and now these babies are not expensive. They are $77 each. They are amazing babies, very well made. It's definitely worth the money. But if somebody contacts me and says, I need a baby for my mom, but I don't have that much money. Well, Eric, you know me, I'm a soft touch. You know where I'm going to be that afternoon? Up there at the Frisco going postal, sending them a baby, because it's that important to me. Now, my family is all gone, and fortunately, we did not have to deal with any memory issues. But as I said in the last meeting that you and I were in, you go into a group of people, and I will just guarantee you, every person in that group, some way, somehow, will be touched by cognitive issues. It might not be their family. It might be the man that lives next door. It might be somebody they used to work with. But everybody is, they're going to have issues. And this helps. It doesn't cure. Nothing is going to cure. Nothing's going to bring mama back. It's the longest goodbye. But you can make new memories. You can make good new memories. And you don't have to remember them drugged up, laying in a bed, non-responsive. You don't have to do that. You can go and help them take care of their baby. But no, it is our desire and it's our goal, and we are going to make it happen, that everybody that needs this baby, I don't care if you live in Svalbard, which is an island near the North Pole. If they need a baby, I'm going to send it up there. If they'll send me the address, I don't care where you are. If you live in the Amazon jungle and you need a baby, we're going to make sure you get one. So that's our goal, is improving lives one cuddle at a time.
That's awesome. I want to make sure that we get a chance, of course, to share all the website and all that kind of fun stuff. But I want to, as far as people who may want to get involved in the mission, they want to, whether it's volunteering or they want to donate, whatever the interest is, what are some of the options that people have to be involved?
Well, we're always looking for sponsors. You can go on our website. Now, of course, we are a nonprofit. So, but go onto our website, and Eric will have that information on the podcast info. Go take a look. We have 3 sponsorship levels, and you can do a sponsorship. Now, with a sponsorship, you also get lots of call outs on our social media. We're very, very active because we want to promote our partners. So we make sure that credit goes to where credit is due. And you will get a baby. In fact, you can get up to 3 babies with a platinum sponsorship. But we're always asking for sponsors here in North Texas. If you want to be a part of volunteering, you can contact me, and Eric will have my information there. You can go onto our Facebook page, and once again, Eric's going to have the information. You can go onto our Facebook page, and you can actually watch these babies in action at baby showers across all of Texas. And we may have some other baby shower video by now, but you can see these babies in action. And we do boys and girls. They don't have any little parts, but we dress them. Girls have bows, boys have hats. We have Caucasian, African American, Indian, Asian, Hispanic, and biracial. So we can pretty much match a baby to everyone that wants and needs a baby. And that's one of the things that we specifically do, is get the information from the communities. How many boys do you need? How many girls do you need? Because we want the people to feel and to have a comfort of the baby that they knew and loved.
And as Mary said, we will definitely have all the links to the social media sites. And but just, if you would, just throw out the website, make sure we have the website for everybody if they would like to go and check it out.
thegrandbabyproject.org. And our Facebook page is The Grandbaby Project.
Perfect. Well, we will definitely, again, we will share all this information for those who are interested, whether you're just want to learn more about the Grandbaby Project, or you want to get involved in the mission to improve the life of someone you know that is suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's. Yes, please reach out to Mary or visit their website and their social media. Again, we will share all of their information in the show notes at www.thesiemplyretirementpodcast.com/38. As always, please like, follow, and share the show. We will see you again on the next episode of the Simply Retirement Podcast. In the meantime, please remember that retirement is not the end of the road. It is the start of a new journey.
That's it for today's episode of the Simply Retirement Podcast. We hope you found our insights and advice helpful in planning for a fulfilling retirement. Don't forget to take action on what you've learned today. Visit our website at blakewealthmanagement.com to learn more about our firm and review our Simply Retirement Roadmap process to get you on the right path to the retirement you deserve. And don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we look forward to helping you achieve your retirement goals. Remember, retirement is not the end of the road. It is the start of a new journey. So embrace it and make the most of it. Until next time, take care. Content here is for illustrative purposes and general information only. It is not legal, tax, or individualized financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any specific security, or engage in any specific trading strategy. Results will vary. Past performance is no indication of future results or success. Market conditions change continuously. This commentary reflects the personal opinions, viewpoints, and analyses of Blake Wealth Management. It does not necessarily represent those of RFG Advisory, their clients, or their employees. This commentary should not be regarded as a description of advisory services provided by Blake Wealth Management or RFG Advisory, or performance returns of any client. The views reflected in the commentary are subject to change at any time without notice. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives of RFG Advisory, a registered investment advisor, Blake Wealth Management, and RFG Advisory are unaffiliated entities. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where RFG Advisory and its representatives are properly licensed or exempt from licensure. No advisory services may be rendered by RFG Advisory unless a client agreement is in place.